What's up? This P Funk, and you're watching Untold Interview.
Got my man P Funk in the building.
Welcome to the Untold Interview.
What's up with you guys? How y'all doing?
We good, man. I think we reaching our peak right now. Man. We got P Funk on here.
Really?
Yeah.
If I'm y'all peak, y'all got a problem, man. Step y'all shit up. Get y'all guest up, man. If I'm the peak.
Get our guest up. You know, EA just
like I'm only playing, man. I'm only playing.
EA just checked us on that. We gotta get our guest up, man.
EA said the same thing. Shout out EA, man.
Yeah,
I love EA.
Yeah, man. So let's start from the beginning, man.
What's up? Talk to me.
Where you from?
Oh, a lot of people don't know that. You know, it's so crazy, man. Everybody assumes that I'm from Philadelphia. I'm not from Philadelphia. I'm from Jersey. Willowboro. Shout out Willowboro. Shout out Willowboro. Shout out Willowboro. And shout out Plainfield, New Jersey. That's originally I was born in Plainfield, and my parents, you know, it's parent shit. My parents moved from Plainfield. I lived in Greensboro for like 3 years, and then we came back to Jersey, and then I moved to South Jersey, Willingboro. So a combination of Plainfield and Willingboro.
I didn't know that.
Right?
I thought you was a Philly guy.
I thought I was the bull from West Philly or something like that. No. Shout out all my West Philly homies. No, I'm not from there.
Oh man. So what made you move to Philly?
That's an interesting story. I used to work for a promotion company called Frontline Marketing Promotion. So that kind of the first tour I went on, well, actually the second tour, Ram Squad brought me to Philly, and I'll say it wasn't even Ram Squad per se. It was Phil at the time, Phil Smith and Wiz Gam.
Okay.
Yep. They brought me to Philly. They wanted me to do a project. They started out wanting me to do a project for Tommy Hill. Shout out Tommy Hill. I got love for the ball. He was, you know, was what he was, but hey, man, you know. So anyway, I came down here for a project, didn't work out, and they wound up putting me with these bulls called Platinum Bound.
Okay.
So that was like back in the day. Y'all motherfuckers is old. Y'all probably don't even know these niggas. But Platinum Bound, they put me with these guys, some thorough ass dudes. When I tell you, I learned a lot from them. Now I'll say I got to the city and they showed me like some true love. Like, cause I didn't know nobody. Again, I came down here for a project. I was supposed to have been here for like maybe a couple of days, maybe a week. That was like I'm about to date myself, like 99. Shit.
That's a minute.
Yeah, I've been here since like 99. They brought me in. Phil brought me down to the studio. It didn't work. The project that me and Hill was working on, of course, didn't work out. So, Biz, and shout out Biz, shout out Oz, and shout out this guy, other boy. He been away for a little while. His name is Mo.
Okay.
Shout out Mo. These guys already had a kind of like a production company. That's where I went Rug. So, I can't say that, man. I'm getting old. I met Rug early there, but we didn't start dealing with each other until we got to be adults. But anyway, I got here in 99. They had a plan and they had projects. They had groups. They had a couple of groups that they wanted to kind of move around the city, and they needed a marketing promotion guy. I was a marketing promotion guy when I came to Philly. So prior to that, I was on the road. I've been on the road with Buster. I've been on the road with M.O.P, Ram Squad, Tracy Lee, you name it, I've been on the road with them. So when I came down here in Philly in 99, The project didn't work out. They had a little project, so I said I'll stick on, and then kind of like the rest was history, and I never left.
Now, at that time, how important was being a promoter, like for the artist?
Promotion was key back then, and I say the reason why was because it was different than the internet. The internet will have you believe, just put your album out and take off. Promotion back then, you had to really get in the streets. You had to put poster boards up. You got to work radio. You got to work relationships. You got to work a bunch of shit that at the end of the day is very hard. It's a lot of hats that you had to put on, and you had to be very talented to do it. A lot of motherfuckers couldn't do it. A lot.
Now, was that your dream to be a promoter?
No, nowhere near. Nowhere near. I wanted to be when I graduated high school, I wanted to do movies. So I wanted to be a TV and I wanted to be a movie. So, but I couldn't act.
What? What a dream.
What a dream, right? But I had a creative, I want to say imagination. I think I still do to this day. I wanted to do TV. I wanted to be a technical director, to be honest with y'all. So in case y'all don't know what that is, that's the guy that's behind the scenes. He does it. You don't see him, but he's calling all the shots. He's telling you what shot need to be on camera 1, what shot need to be on camera 2. Fade this down. Like, that's what I wanted to be. Okay. It didn't work out like that. For whatever reason, it just didn't work out like that. You're a kid. You start, you're thinking about, some of the things you want in life. So I knew that I wanted to be in the industry, like music industry, things like that. I knew I wanted to do that. I just didn't know how to get in. So I was the type of guy where I needed to figure out. So if I can't act and I can't rap, I remember I tried to rap. That didn't work.
What was your rap name?
It was P-Funk. I was always P-Funk. I got a story about that too. So, but even then, I tried to rap, and it was my homies. My homies will laugh at this once they see this. They all can rap. So, it's just like anybody else. You just want to fit in with the rest of your homies, right? So I'm sitting there, and we in the car, we smoke, we hotboxing in the car, we smoking and everything, and niggas is writing and stuff like that. So I'm writing. But see, the thing is, if you can't write, it takes a lot longer to do what they're doing. So they'll come up with like 16 bars, right? In the mirror, maybe like an hour, 2 hours, depending on, now granted, these raps was trash. They were. but they was coming up with their shit like about like an hour and a half, some shit like that, right? Me, it took me like about like 2.5 weeks. Right. What? So, what? And then listen, here's the funny part. It took me 2.5 weeks. I came up with like 8.5 bars. I finally figured out. That's what I didn't start counting bars till later, and I counted up this trash ass rap that I had, and it was about 8.5 bars. It was 8.5 bars of the worst bars you could ever rap.
You remember it?
No. And even if I did, I would never repeat it. So basically, that just means that I just wasn't cut out to be a rapper. So
ain't for everybody.
No, it wasn't. And I had to figure out, but again, I always said I wasn't cut out to be doing. And it's nothing against a job, a regular job, or anything like that. I just knew that I wasn't cut out to be in those particular jobs. So I said I just couldn't figure out which way to go. It took a long time to figure out. I'm still probably trying to figure it out to this day. I don't know. Like,
What was your first job?
Shit. I didn't have that many jobs in life. Sad, but my first job that I ever paid taxes.
Pay taxes.
I was I think I worked for UPS at Lawside. That was like my first job. And then after that, I realized, y'all ever watch Bronx Tale?
Yes.
Yeah, remember what Sonny said? The worker man's a sucker. I took that to heart. I took that to heart. So that was my first job. And then I think I had another job. What stopped me from, like, I had that job and then I had a another job. This is before I really dove into music. I wound up getting a job at this company called Hoffman and Roach. Now, mind you, at this time, I was like about 26, 25. No, I'm sorry. I'm like 24. So I'm single. I don't have any kids. I don't have no responsibilities but whatever I made, right? So I never forget, I'm working for this company. And it was a real good job. And I remember my parents was always on the tip of, you gotta have like a solid job. Like, they didn't believe in this music shit. My mom didn't believe in it, and I love my mom with that. She didn't believe in the music shit. She just believed in, can you go to a building, get a check, and come home? Can you do that? That's the only thing that she believed in. So I remember this guy by the name of Screwdriver, God rest his soul. He asked me to fill in to take the Lost Boys up to Syracuse, New York. He was like, yo, so at this time back in the day, this is when you see all these rap promotional trucks ride around. So the Lost Boys, we had this, well, my friend had this Lost Boys account. This is before I even was able to get into the music. I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck to get in, right? So my friend has he works for this frontline marketing promotion. He asked me, the driver, for some weird reason, couldn't go. They were supposed to do this show up in Syracuse, New York, and the guy was the driver of the van. So my friend hits me and he says, yo, can you do me a favor? My driver goes out. Can you step in, drive the Lost Boys up to Syracuse, drive the rap promotion video. They got to show up there, ride around, and bring them back. I said, that's it? He said, yeah. He said, you got to leave Friday and be back Monday. So I was like, all right. So I had PTO days. So for y'all that don't know what PTO is, you know what I mean? That's vacation time.
Yes,
so
sir.
I had a couple of days, right? So I said, fuck it. I was like, I told my job, I was like, yo, I'm going to take a couple of days off, have a long weekend, right? I took these niggas up to Syracuse, New York. When I tell you, I had the best fucking time of my life, right? These niggas was doing everything. And the funny part about it was, the Lost Boys at this time, and again, this is an old ass group, right? So probably half the people that's watching this right here probably gonna be like, who are they?
We know Mr. Cheeks.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Mr. Cheeks, there you go. So I get up there, I'm having the time of my life. Bitches, it's just everything, man. It's like people just running up on me. Now, again, I've never experienced none of this like this, right? So, I'm like, yo. And so I finished the 4 days, right? I get back, I tell my guy, Screwdriver, that told me that he picked me up, asked me to do the gig. I said, dog, how the fuck can I do this shit like every day? I said, this is the life. He said, man, I don't know. He said, listen, he said, it's a grind, right? Like, you got, at that time, it was on seasons and off seasons from kind of like this type of business. So basically, music, even to this day, I feel like you got to figure out a way to get in. You got to find your job, right? So I did that. So I said, so how I do this? So he said, I got a couple other gigs, but there's no guaranteed work, bro. So I'm just letting you know, you got your own, you got a solid 9 to 5 over here, right? And you got this maybe. What you want to do? So I said, all right. I thought about it. I go, and it's so funny. At this time too, I had my regular 9 to 5 job, I had they was about to give me a promotion. In fact, they was about to transfer me out to Cali. And again, at this time, I'm like 20, 24, something like that. They're at this time, they were trying to transfer me out to Cali. They was looking for young people with no kids, no responsibilities, stuff like that. Transfer out there. I was about to make like about 75. Start out like 75 grand, right?
Now, what year is this?
This is shit, like 96.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, for a kid, right? At least for a kid that has a kid with no kids.
No kids.
I had no responsibilities, nothing, right? So, and I already had told the job prior to me going on this little 4-day clip with the Lost Boys. I wound up I had told the job I'd take the position. So I was leaving like in about maybe a couple of weeks. As soon as they get everything, they're gonna ship all my shit out there. And I was Gucci, right? At least that's what I felt. I came back off this trip, and now I'm like, yo, if I go out here, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this here. It's like, am I gonna be on another path, right? That's what I said. So I go, I bounce it off my mom. My mom tells me, she says, listen, it's nothing like a solid 9 to 5, right? That's what she says. She said, you're looking at the time, again, 96, 97, you're looking at, 75 grand a year, no responsibilities. She said, you're going to live like a king, right? I said, yeah, you're right. I said, all right. I left my mom's house. I drove home. I burnt one, and I got to the job the next day, and I gave him 2 weeks notice. So I'm out. I'm out. Dude said, what? Yeah, I'm gone.
That was a quick decision.
I was gone. I said, yeah, I'm out. So and they say, God looks out for babes and fools. I wasn't a baby. So, I feel like he kind of looked out. Now, again, I say all that to say, because like people ask me when they talk to me, they ask me like, how'd you do it and how'd you start? And I said to myself all the time, I said, I could tell you my route, but I don't know if I would suggest you doing that. You feel what I'm saying? Like everybody, my recipe might not work for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I could tell you my story. The only thing that I feel like you should do is be inspired by it and then make your own path. So again, that thing worked out for me. I wound up, as soon as I did that, again, the first tour I went on was with M.O.P. That was the first one, right? So I'm the head. I was handling radio and promotion for them. And here's the funny part. I love M.O.P. Them niggas was the wildest bunch of niggas I've ever been around in my life. At least up until that point.
You heard their music?
Yeah. Here's the funny part, right? The actual group members, them niggas was chill. Chill. They was cool, laid back. I swear, and everything I love, they were. It was the 40 other niggas that came with them, right? We go to an event. We go to some spot, right? It was the first stop on they little tour, right? And so we go up there, and it was in New York. No, it was in Connecticut. So we're in there. The club owner, these 40 niggas come in, right? Do they song? It was Annie Up, all that shit, right? We're like, oh, okay, that's what you're getting. They all clear out. The club owner says, "Can I talk to you for a second?" So I said, all right. He walks in and he says, who's going to do this? So I go in there, right? I didn't even know how these niggas did it. But these niggas, it was a sink on the wall, right? The sink, these niggas sat on I don't know if they sat on, the sink was broken half.
What?
The sink was broken half. Not pulled out the wall. One part was on the wall. The other vanity part was on the floor. It was a bunch of Dutch guts all around. Half of what he said, I said, yeah, I don't know. That was a sticky situation. But yeah, they was kind of probably my, like, at the time, my wildest, like, group to go out with. But yeah, I have a bunch of stories about them shits. And then after that, I did. That's when I first met Ram Squad, I think, because they were signed to Universal. So that was when I first met Ram Squad and Tracy Lee.
Okay.
So yeah, it was that. Then, like I said, I was on the road with Buster. When I did Buster. I did Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight was different.
Okay, a little R&B.
Yeah, Brian McKnight. I always tell this story, man. I always used to think R&B niggas was sweet, right? Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I mean. It until you realize that they some real niggas that just sing, right? I get it, right? So Brian McKnight, to this day, I was just laughing. I told my wife this. I said, I gotta give Brian McKnight a pound, man, because he helped me out with some pussy in, like, St. Louis, right? So he says, so I never forget, right? So we're in the promo van, right? We're in the promo van, and I think we like in, like, Utah or some shit like that. And so we're in a hotel. I mean, so it's you know, at the end of the day, again, I'm single, right? I'm single. Got to stress that because my wife gonna see this shit. So, so I'm single, right? So, you know, it's anything. Niggas want bag bras, right? So I'm in there putting in work in this lobby, right, with these two bras. I'm putting in work, but they was feeling me, but they wasn't feeling me, right? Like, you know, they was this close. They needed to be nudged. And then so it's so funny. I see Brian McKnight coming down the hall, right? Now, mind you, I've been following the tour. Now, I haven't really been interacting with the artists because I'm really the guy that was, at the time, I'm in the promo van. The rap van was a promo van. So I'm going ahead of the head of the tour, and I'm the guy that's putting up all the poster boards, make it look like, you know, it's going down big in this city. That's my job, right?
Street team.
Yeah, I'm street team ball, right, at that time, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to these chicks, man. I'm trying to, you know, just. And so Brian McKnight comes over. Now, I know he sees the van, and it's just like anything. If you working with a person enough, you might not know their name, but you see their face, right? This bull comes over to me, throw his arm around me, right? He said, "Oh, little cuz, how you doing out here?" I go, "I'm cool, man, you know." "Yeah, man, hey. Take care of my little cuz, man, you know what I mean? I'm gonna see you later." Now, knowing goddamn well I was not going to see Brian McKnight later. At all. But when he walked away, right, these bitches melt like popsicles on a sunny day, man. Just melted. I said, I got him. I said to myself, right, I was laughing at my man. I said, yo, I got to thank this nigga, man. Helped me out, gave me a little alley-oop for these, you know what I mean? I said he ain't even had to do that. He might not even realize, or maybe he did and said, little young need a little help, man. Let me go ahead and help him out. Keep it moving.
Right. You got a bounce.
Yeah,
got a bounce from Brian McKnight.
Yeah, yo, so that's funny. That's one of the stories I laugh about and shit, man. I said if I ever see him again, I haven't seen Brian McKnight probably since that tour, but I told him I said if I ever see him again, he probably said, "Hey man, I knew what I did.
Had to do.
Yeah, I did what I do. See the nigga in distress." You know what I mean? So, you know.
Now, what did you stop from there? Like,
what do you mean?
Did you stop doing the street team promotion?
I did after I came to Philly. Once I came to Philly, I was still doing street team stuff, but it was mainly for Platinum Bound. So we like at that time they had a couple of groups that they were trying to push. One was Nina Ross. It was Nina Ross. There's an R&B singer by the name of J.I. And it was another group back in the day called The Sin. So these were the artists that at the time Platinum Bound was trying to push, right? So I still was in a marketing promotion role per se. I didn't really start recording and stuff like engineering until probably later on, probably like a few years later after I got here into Philly. So that's kind of how I got plugged into here in Philly, was kind of street team. So
okay, and then that merged to the whole Ram Squad thing.
well, Ram Squad, I had met them. I had met Ram Squad way before I got to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Because again, I met them through Universal Records. They had a deal with Universal Records, and they were going on road with, it was them and Tracy Lee. That's how me and Young Guru became friends.
Okay, shouts to Young Guru.
So I bet him before he was fucking with Jay. In fact, we always, every time I say it, we laugh. I said, man, remember that fucking tour we had? He said, yo, it was, working with them was night and day. You gotta remember, at that time, Ram Squad was the new group. Tracy Lee at the time was the older artist. Kind of, he was on his way out, and Ram Squad was coming in. So both of them had two different work ethics. Both groups had two different work ethics. Like, going with them, like Ram Squad was, if bus time was 5 in the morning, they're not showing up till 6:37. If bus time is for Tracy Lee at 5 in the morning, Tracy Lee is there at 4:30 in the morning.
It's typical rapper life.
But here's the quick twist, right? Both of them had to coincide on the road with each other, because you got two groups. What is early to be on time? The other one is late to be on time. If that makes sense. It don't, right? But these niggas was always late. Every time. It was one of the most challenging things that I've ever done, man. Ever. But yeah, that was again, like I said, marketing promotion. I did that here, and then for a little while, because we broke up. Well, Platinum Bound kind of broke up. Some shit happened. People went to jail. So we kind of had to dissolve that, come back to regroup, and while we dissolved that, I started doing like party promotions in the city. So I started doing like different parties and stuff like that. Just kind of try to keep myself alive. You know what I mean? Because again, at the end of the day, I can't rap, I can't act. So the only thing I can do is try to keep myself and my name alive. It's still just kind of be in the streets, you know. So that's kind of what I did. I did back in the day, I did Red Sky, then I did World Fusion, and shout out to Tariq Wallace. They did that with me. Tariq and Troy did World Fusion with me. Red Sky did with this guy, my guy, George Hawkins, and we did that, and that kept me kind of like floating for a little while in Philadelphia. Right. And then after that, while I was doing that, because again, I told y'all, Platinum Bound kind of broke up, and I think Rug at the time went out to Cali. He went out to Cali for a little while to work with Eve, and at the time, that was when the Eve show was on. So he went out there to work. He went out there to work on a show with Eve, and he came back. When he came back, he had started doing studio time, just regular studio time,
That was Batcave?
It's the beginning of Batcave.
Beginning.
Yeah,
okay.
That was the beginning of Batcave. It wasn't even called Batcave back then. It was just I don't even know what the fuck it was called then, but just Rug recording, right? So then as time, like think a little while went on. I think because Gil, if you ask Gil, shout out Gil, Gil will say he came up with the name of Batcave. He said, I think Rug came up with a name called, I think it was Insomnia. And Gil's like, that shit don't make no sense. Nah, Gil talk. He said, that shit don't make no sense, man. He said, put niggas to sleep in here. He said, it's like a bat cave. So that's how I came. And then the name kind of stuck. So, and then, then it kind of took off from there.
Now, what was your position at Batcave?
So at that time, when Batcave started up, so like I told you, Rug just came back from LA. So he kind of had the studio up and running already.
Okay. He
already had, the studio and his clientele, his little bit of clientele that he had, he was rocking out. I had came to Rug and I said, because at that time I was like, I was kind of like bored, right? Yeah, I was like, because I had to figure out, again, I can't rap, I can't act. So it's like, and I'm trying to always figure out how am I going to stay relevant in a game that I love. So he came back, and at that time, like I said, he was doing, I think he had, out of 7 days a week, he had maybe, he was filling up like maybe three days, 3 or maybe 4 days, right? Enough to keep his situation comfortable and smooth, right? That's all. So I told him, I said, how about this, right? Let me come in and I'll do the off days. This way, So he said, all right, cool. That turned from that, just when I started doing that, things kind of picked up. Not to say I'm telling you I'm bringing in everybody. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just at that time when I came in, just things just started picking up. For whatever reason, it picked up, right? So now we're like booming. Like there's people coming down there. You gotta remember too, rappers are probably one of your greatest people to promote you, right? Like, and you got guys down there like, at the time it was Gil, it was Black De Niro, Mike Knox, 8 Gang, you name it, these motherfuckers was down there. So these motherfuckers would their word of mouth, because this is still, again, before there wasn't no social media back then.
Right.
So this is just somebody telling you, and then that person tell that person, and that person tells that person, and that person tells that person. So it was kind of like that. So
now, from being a street team promoter to converting into, let's say, studio engineer.
Yeah. So
how did you learn that?
That's a funny story too. So again, I always was into music and engineering. So even back when I was a kid and my mom was taking me to church, I was the kid that worked the audio and visual over in the corner for the church. So I was that kid, right?
Gotcha.
So I've always been fascinated with equipment. I've always been fascinated with it. But it's about which way your life takes you. So I get down here, and one day I had this idea. I'm sitting in the studio, and I had this idea, and I said, "Yo, I want to do this mixtape." It was called, at this time this is before Batcave. This is when it was platinum bound, and I want to do this mixtape. The whole city, I can get all the rappers on it, because at the time, all the young rappers was down there.
Right.
Like those schema, everybody was coming down there, so it was just easy to be like, "Yo, give me a verse, give me a verse, give me a verse, give me a verse, give me a freestyle." Everybody wanted to do it, right? So I said, "Yo, I want to do this shit, man." But the problem was at that time, I didn't know how to record. And the two engineers in the building at the time was Rug and another producer and slash engineer named Don Groove.
Okay.
Don Groove, right? So these niggas didn't want to give me time to do my mixtape. But now that I know how to record and engineer, there's a lot of time for you to ask a motherfucker to say, yo, can you record 12 fucking rappers and edit this shit and mix it? Can you do that for me for free? Like, so needless to say, them niggas didn't want to do it, right? So I was frustrated. So Don Groove, right? He said, I tell you what, this is what I'll do. I'm gonna teach you the basics of how to record. I said, all right, give it to me. Because I figured like this, man, I play video games all the time.
Right.
If I can fucking figure out how to fucking play Madden, right? And at the time, my PlayStation or Sega Genesis, whatever the fuck I had at that time, I could figure out how to record, right? So he told me, he said, here's the start button, here's the stop button. He said, record their vocals, and then he said, I'll come back and mix it on my off time. All right, cool. So I said, bet, right? So he tells me that, and I'm like, cool, but I don't got nobody to record. I got nobody to record with me, right? The only motherfucker that wanted to record with me, right? He calls the studio was Ab Lava, right? Lava calls, and I'm talking to Lava on the phone. He's like, what you doing? I said, I'm chilling. Now, mind you, at this time, I think he had just got down with the Clips. So Lava was a person that was, you know, he didn't mind doing, he needed studio time, but his was more of just trying to lay some shit down to references so he could listen to it and get his shit better, right? So I tell Lava, I say, yo, I need basically a rap dummy. I need somebody to be able to, I could be able to record on, right? And this way, if I fuck up, you're not mad because you already know you're like my test. Like, in other words, I'm trying to figure this shit out. You just need to record. Now, Lava says, I ain't got no problem with that. He said, can I leave out of there and actually hear myself? I said, yeah, you can do that. I'll figure that part out, right?
Right.
So Lava gets in there, right? He comes down. We laughed about this on our way to New York, maybe like a couple of weeks ago. This shit was funny, man. So we riding, we get there. He gets there and I do it, start, stop, but I don't know how to punch in. I don't know how to bring other instrumentals in. I don't know how to do none of this shit, right? So, but I'm just learning as I go, right? Lava sitting there. Lava sat with me on that first session. He did a freestyle. This freestyle took about 5 hours.
Wow. Wow.
That was some shit that he knew, right? But I'd say, but a lot of it was just, it was like trial and error. I was like, yo, I'm trying to figure it out. So needless to say, that joint was trash, right? The joint was trash. Horrible, right? But
the mixing or the actual song?
No. The mix. Okay. So like, again, he was just using this as reference bars.
Gotcha.
Like, in other words, it's like, so if he had something really to lay, he wasn't laying it with me, but he needed to hear it. So he needed to hear it in the car and ride, right? So I was like, I can give you that. So I always say, so when we out, Lava say, you know, one of the first niggas this boy ever recorded was me. I'd be like, yeah. I said, but what's the brag about? This shit was trash.
Now, was you on software at that time?
Huh?
Was you on software?
That was analog? Or
No, we was doing digital at the time.
Okay.
I was recording out of, I wasn't even recording Pro Tools. I think I was recording, oh man, something with a D. I can't remember it. But yeah, I was using, I wasn't, but it was a form of Pro Tools. So okay. I was using that. And eventually I picked up and I figured it out. And then what's so funny was, once I figured it out, I didn't realize what type of real fucking hustle this was, right? So at the time, so I get that with lava, right? I figure all that shit out. So once I figure it out, oh, now my shit don't sound a little. Now my shit sound all right, right? like enough where, and I never forget, nigga call up to the studio because niggas used to call up for sessions all the time. Nigga called for the studio. He said, "Yo, I need like three." He said, "I need like 3 hours, right?" So I'm the new guy, just like the new barber. Come on in. Oh man, Rug and Groove ain't nah, but you know what? Cause you here, I'll give you the discounted price. I think I was giving 3 hours out for like $90, some shit like that. It was
wow.
it was like just because it was easy, fast money. It was like not fast, but like basically once you figure it out, it's like, all right, I can do this, right? And so I did that. And then once I realized, I was like, oh shit. I said, oh, then motherfuckers kept calling. And now I'm like, oh, this is better than anything that I need to do.
We ain't going back to that 9 to 5.
We ain't going back. We've been left to 9 to 5. We've been left to 9 to 5. Like we left the 9 to 5. No, like maybe let's see. I think my last time I had a true, and I'm not knocking this, a true 9 to 5 like that was 96, 97.
Dang, Tupac was alive.
Yeah, Pac was alive then. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the last time I could actually say a conventional job.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
you know, but yeah, that was then, and then but then when I learned, it's so funny, once I learned how to record and everything started rolling, the studio broke up. At that time, it still wasn't Batcave, it was Platinum Bound, and the studio had you know, for whatever reason, just it wasn't making money for the guys that actually were putting in on the studio.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm just being real. It just didn't make sense for them. So they felt like, you know, we ain't doing it no more. And then it's just like anything. At that time, that's when Rug decided he wanted to go out to Cali. Groove wanted to do something. I think he wanted to do something in construction. So everybody had different ideas and different plans. So that's what that was. Batcave didn't happen, like I said, probably maybe 2 years after what I'm talking about now, and trying to put a timestamp on it is kind of hard.
Now we at Batcave. We got Mike Knox.
Yep, Mike Knox.
Gilly the Kid.
Yep.
8th Gang. That's the early YouTube era.
Yep. That was with Star DVDs was coming down there, shit like that. Batcave was an interesting time. I always tell everybody I'd never trade those days for nothing. Right? Nothing. I think and I don't realize this, and somebody just recently told me this, and I didn't realize what type of impact we really had in this city. That's the honest truth. Especially maybe when you're doing it. You know, I never really knew what type of like vibe or you know what we were just having fun.
Now it was a few stars that was born out of Batcave.
Uh-huh.
You got Meek Mills.
Big Billy. That's my guy.
Meek Mills definitely you know, played a part in Batcave, as well as Gilly, Black De Niro. You know, what was the experience of being in the studio with those guys?
It was I tell you this, right? Being down there and doing being around all those guys, me personally, I took it as we were all type of a family. Because we seen each other every day. Like these niggas would be down there at the studio every day, like they were recording, right? Like if I was there at 11, Gil was there at 12. like, you know, and Mike Knox will float through a little bit, you know, during the day. Black De Niro, same thing. Ape Gang, same thing. It was just like, you know, everybody just always used to come through there. If they weren't recording, they were hanging there. And that could be good and that could be bad.
Right.
But for the most part, you know, it was, to me, it was just a family.
Right. And it looked like Mike Knox, Gilly, Ape Gang, Meat Mills, they created like a brotherhood.
Yeah. This is what I say about all that. Because a lot of people had a misconception of what it was down there. It was. I think we were all family. I think we all were friends. I think we all. But I don't want to. I don't want to say that we tried to make. The misconception was you had to know somebody to come down there. You didn't. You just had to have some money, spend some studio time. Other than that, the doors was always open, and everybody. I'll say this. Out of all the studios I've ever been in, that was one of the most free-flowing, creative studio environments that I've ever helped create, ever. Like, it's very hard to recreate something like that.
P-Funk. It was an era that Batcave Studios converted to Batcave Radio. The college part.
Yeah, right.
We didn't get to the mainstream yet.
Yeah.
The college part. You had every hot rapper wanting to get on that mic. Not just on the mic, but on that camera. Where was this camera set up at, man? It looked like it was in a corner behind the door.
So I'll tell y'all a story about that, right? So Batcave Radio is interesting. Batcave Radio came up because, again, I'm always a person that tries to think ahead of the curve, right? So again, at that time, we were doing studio time and stuff like that, and just being transparent with y'all. I'm on my hustle. So how do I get niggas to come fuck with me? What can you give a nigga that they want? Radio time. So I used to do a college radio station before I got to Philly. It was in New Brunswick. WRSU. Ain't gonna trip if I fucking forget them letters. Fuck it. It was in New Brunswick. It was on Rutgers campus. Probably still there. I think it was WRSU. I used to do a college radio station there. So, show there. And that's how it was. This DJ, he turned me on and kind of gave me the game on that. So what I did was I looked in the area to see if there was anything similar to that.
Okay.
It just so happens that Drexel has a radio station, right, on their campus, right? And their radio station was pushing the same wattage as the Beat.
Right.
Not Power 99. The Beat has a 30-mile radius of Philadelphia. So, and the transmitter's in Pennsauken. So that's the reason why sometimes when you ride around, 100.3 will fade out someplace. Right. In some place in Philly, right? Weird, right? But that's because the transmitter for that one is in Pennsauken and it has a 30-mile radius. Power 99 has a 50-mile radius for their transmitter. So that's why you can get Power 99 a lot further.
Right.
So Drexel has the same transmitter. Theirs is a 30-mile radius. So basically, yeah, nobody knew that, right? So basically, you could hear Drexel radio all across the city, like Power 99. So at the time, there was only one show, everybody know, it was the Come Up Show, right? And everybody's dying to get on. And everybody's mad that they can't get on because at the time they'd be like, "Oh, Kev's hating on me, oh, blah blah blah. Yo, I can't get to the come up show." Oh, okay, cool. I got something for you. um, so I go and I started, right. It was just a crazy idea. I said, all right, I'm gonna get a DJ. I'm gonna get, now mind you, KDU has been doing this. All right. So for anybody jump on me and say, yo, nigga, you wasn't the first one, you're right. Yes, you're right. Cosmic Kev spun on there. There have been other DJs that have been on WKDU. Shout out Drama with the Mama. I mean, Mama with the Drama. I think that's what her name was. Something like that. Like they had other shows, but they weren't doing what I was trying to do. Right. So I get down there. First show we do. I think that I felt like nobody listened. Right. Now, mind you, everybody out of the studio was excited. Gail, all of them, because I mean, Gail was not saying that he wasn't getting this shit played, but he had a different relationship with Kev. So his issue wasn't that per se. He wasn't really the ones complaining. It was other artists in the city that came through, and they always kept saying how they couldn't get up there, right? So I said, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. Y'all give me y'all records, I'll play them. And since I'm recording them, I can control it. I can get clean records, and I can make clean edits and everything. And at the time, it made sense, right? So we did our first show. I thought it stunk. I was like, man, ain't nobody gonna fuck with this junk, right? The next week, the stations, the Drexel called me, right? Or they was waiting for me. They were waiting for me at the station. And I thought I was in trouble. I did some shit, right? They said, no, we got these calls about Batcave Radio. What is Batcave Radio? And that was just some shit that, I just kind of came up. I'm high. I came up with in the studio. I was like, oh, it'd be great. We just call it Batcave Radio, man. Blah, 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 blah. People took this as we had a real radio station. Newsflash. It wasn't our station. It was just a show that we named. That's it. It was, man, I ain't got no transmitter. I'm at Drexel. We shot at Drexel in their little studio. Yeah, all those rappers that you see came down there. We had them come down to Drexel, from the Meek Mills to the Black Thoughts. All of them came right down there to to Drexel. Yeah. The next week we had a flood of jail calls. Nothing but jail calls, right? These motherfuckers was calling all day long, requesting shit. They like, this show only comes on, but on once a week. So then we said, all right, we got something. So then as we kept going, we realized, being at night, I took this recipe from New York, because I used to always listen to Funkmaster Flex and them. And then I used to always listen to Funkmaster Flex. When I was a kid, I was listening to Stretch and Bobbito. That's where I used to get all my exclusives from when I went to hear like the new hip hop. It's different now. You can just pull it up online when a nigga drop it. But then back then you had to wait for a DJ to, got exclusive. We the only ones got such and such. Yeah, I was that guy. So I wanted a show like that. So Batcave Radio took off in the hood, and it made a lot of noise when we started. And again, it was fun. It really was. We did some shit that probably we shouldn't have done. Probably had interviews we shouldn't have did. I remember we had this bitch come up there. This bitch was a rapper. No, she wasn't a rapper. We had this one nigga teabag abroad while we was on the air. Yeah, it was wild. We did a bunch of wild shit, man. Some broad came up there. She was a fan of the show. She was sitting there, and we was like, what would be the wildest thing you would do on the air, right? And so somebody said, you won't let nobody teabag you. She said, teabagging. Exactly what she said, right? So my young boy at the time, J.O., we tell him, right? He said, all right. So he teabags the bitch right there on the air. Like, teabags.
What?
Yeah, man.
Now, was this a video episode?
Yeah, I think it's one of the episodes. I think it's an episode. You gotta dive deep into our archives, but I think it's on YouTube someplace. Wow. There's a bunch of shit. If you go on YouTube, y'all see some shows, some episodes that be like, yo, like, yeah, it was
P Funk. Who's the light skinned girl?
Oh, Donna D.
Donna D. That's
so Donna D was a girl that I went to high school with, right? I known Donna since I was like in the 8th grade, right? So when we did Batcave Radio, I always felt like you needed, instead of having a bunch of guys, you needed a different viewpoint. And she was the only girl I knew that was cute, and she knew hip hop. So it's like she could sit there and hold her own if we're sitting there having a conversation about hip hop. She's not going to be like, "Well, I don't listen to that."
But she don't really talk.
Donna was there because you got to remember, man, it was a bunch of aggressive motherfuckers down there. So I'm a talker. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, she tends to, Donna had her moments where she talked. Donna had times where, you know, she talked, she got involved with the show, but she was mainly, I always just mess with her. I'd be like, yo, you know you're the eye candy, right? It's for these niggas to tune in and drool over you.
Look, yeah. P, when I used to watch that, I used to be like, yo, P, why don't you just sit down, move to the side, and let her just be her. Move to the side.
So it's funny with her, right? Believe it or not, she doesn't like attention. She don't. It was hard to get her on camera. Like, you know, being on camera. Here's the funny part about all that. I'll tell y'all something quick. The whole camera idea wasn't even my idea. That was a guy by the name of Nard. Nard the Bad Man, right? Shout out Nard. Still works with me to this day. When we were doing Batcave, right, we were cool. Like, it was cool because it was like, all right, you can hear it on the radio. But this is when World Star just started popping, right? So this nigga comes to me, right? And at that time, I'm a dude that will tell you yes and then walk away. And then, because I didn't think about what you said, I'd just be like, yep. And then you might come to me later on and be like, yo, so P, man, so we gonna do this. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I say yes to that? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So Nard came to us and said, yo, I want to shoot it. Yep. All right, cool. Nard shows up, right? I forgot I said yes, right? So I think Rug had reminded me, he's like, no, this is my man Nard. He said he wanted to shoot. Remember I told you? I was like, yeah, no. All right. I didn't say nothing, right? The first one he shot was with, what's the rapper boy that got caught up in that child, y'all? Tech Nine.
Yeah.
Tech Nine, right? He was on there, right? He just got off the battle with that John Memo and Ness
World
battle.
Star Hip Hop.
Yeah, he did that huge battle, and he cooked the boy. Murder. No, not Murder Mook. It was Tech. No. It was something with. I forget this battle rapper name, man.
Oh, T-Rex.
Right? He goes and cooks some more in there, so he was hot. Now, mind you, he comes on Batcave, and then all of a sudden he gives us another one. The shit takes off, right? The first time he shot that, we was like on front page of World Star, and it had like 100,000 views, like, or watches, right? Or whatever it was at the bottom, right? And I'm like, oh shit. And so Nard says, I can do this for you every week. I was like, for real? All right. So then people used to think we had it in with World Star. We didn't. We did the same thing that everybody else did. We just sent them shit. If your shit was good, they take it. We sent everything up there. So everybody would know, because people at one point labeled me as a hater because I used to always talk about how I can't stand trash ass rappers, bum ass rappers.
You did.
Right? Yeah.
You did.
I wasn't a hater. I wasn't a hater.
I had a few rappers that was like,
there's probably still some rappers now mad at me.
Yeah. We was like, yo, man, Rug, keep more quiet. Let's get with Rug. Cause P-Funk gonna tell you a whole story of how you suck.
Well, I felt like this, right? So, at Big Kev, we talk about this all the time, right? It's you gotta look at it like this, right? When you're a person, I'm a person just like you, right? I got my opinion just like you. So the only difference is that my opinion is just heard a little bit louder, at least at the time. So if you make a trash fucking song, the song's fucking trash, like it is. But if you got 30 of your homies in there, right? These are all these niggas you grew up with. Of course they're gonna be like, yo, he the best, he the hottest in the city. Dude, it's not good. And I'll tell you that. If you ask me, I'll tell you. Or like another thing, right? With people with artists, what was so funny was because they'd be like, yo, we can go to Rug and he'll listen to my shit. But then when it's all said and done, right? You got to really say to yourself with your song, can that really fit into what's going on up there? Is it that good? Or is your homies just super supporting you? And that's really what it was. Some people used to think that, be honest with you, I feel like I helped a lot of artists, a lot. I just didn't discourage people at the time when it was talking about I was a hater. I don't really care. But to be honest with you, it doesn't make a difference if you are a person that liked everything. In reality of it is you can't play everybody. You know, let's just be real. You're talking about, just say on the college station, we was doing 3 hours on Wednesday night from 12 to 3. For real, you're only playing 50 songs. If that. And that's a lot of songs. 50 fucking songs, right? But think about this. There's more than 50 rappers that used to come down there and give me shit. I used to get CDs. At the time it was CDs. They would be at the studio and they'd be left at the front door of the studio. Like there was a little mail slot. Me and Rug would come in and there'll be CDs on the floor. There'll be CDs all around. There'll be, yo man, I've been meaning to catch up with you. Blah 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 blah. Niggas figured out how to really get my attention, right? So I'm down at the studio. One of the ways, because it was at times it was hard to keep just listening to them. Like everybody knew shit, man. And I didn't want to be that guy to be just tossing your shit. So one way to get my attention, if you run up to me on the street and say, listen to my shit, most likely I'm not going to listen. I'm already in another mind state because whatever I'm doing out there. The best way I told nigga, you want to get my attention, book some studio time. Now you got 2 hours of my undivided attention.
I know so many rappers in the city. I'm not gonna say no names.
You can, I don't care. It don't make a difference. I got love for all of them, man. Go ahead. It's cool. Go ahead.
And they said, yo, you want to get on Batcave Radio? Yo, book time with P-Funk, book time with Rug. That's the best way. And I turn around, I look, and they're on the camera.
Depending on the artist, studio time for me, he wasn't gonna get you on the air. Like what I didn't want, and what Kev taught me is, right, all rappers ain't good rappers. So kind of what that means is there's just some people that no matter how hard they work, no matter how hard they try, no matter how much they offer you, it's just not going to work, and you don't want to water down your brand. So with that being said, would people respect me if I took MC Boo Boo over here, right? and just put him on because he gave me studio time, or he threw me a bag or whatever he may have did to get my attention, would that be fair to put his trash ass record that now I gotta listen to and kind of put my stamp of approval on it more than the nigga that really worked? He got heat, right? He just needs the extra push to get him through the door. That's how I really looked at it. Because again, I tell people, it's like, if I'm spending 50 records that per show, most likely I got to spend these records at least 4 weeks just so you can break it, right? So it's just a stigma. I'm cool with it. Like, I've heard worse. Yeah, I've heard worse. Kev said, they're gonna hate you. I said, yeah. He said, oh yeah, they're gonna hate you. I said, nah, they ain't gonna hate me. They love me. Nah, they hated me. I had some niggas that was mad at me, man. But that's a whole nother episode.
P-Funk. Was Batcave a gatekeeper?
Yeah. What, with the Illuminati? No. No. I don't know what gate it was supposed to open up for you. I heard that. I heard that if you don't go through Batcave, you don't get put on. I heard you can't get up to no radio station, if you don't go through Batcave. Yeah, that's not true. I think at the time, it was it was more of it just so happened that the people that were working there was getting recognition. That's all. Like, they were getting recognition, and it was a hot spot. So to answer that question, no, I couldn't get you next to whoever you wanted. So let's say if it was the labels, I can't get you next to the label. I could, like, I have relationships with them, but for the most part, it wasn't where I could help you. Not like that.
You guys graduated to mainstream radio.
Right?
I think that was a big thing for the city, because we all followed you from Drexel, and now you guys were, or what's that, 10?
We was at 100 at the time, because that radio station is flipped. That shit was, at the time, it was 100.3 the beat.
Right.
We were at, so mind you, here's the funny part with that, right? So now mind you, we've been on Drexel for a little while. My whole goal, really, real rap, was to get on mainstream. These motherfuckers wasn't taking me for whatever reason, but they already had, at the time, you gotta look at, the fishbowl that we were in. Philadelphia had one show already, which was the Come Up show, so, and that was already solidified. Like, it's Come Up show has been there. Prior to that, it was Radioactive. Like, it's been there. So, they didn't need another show like mine, because my show basically was the Come Up show, because we're roughly playing the same, me and Kev are roughly playing the same artist. So it was no room over there. 100.3 was, they didn't have nothing. So a guy by the name of Boogie D, right? He just came in as program director over at 100.3. He wanted to try to keep up with Across the Street, right? So basically, they was trying to mimic what they were doing across the street. So he was like, I need to find somebody that was hot in the city. What DJ, what person was hot in the city? And so his APD, his assistant program director, she was brand new on the job, love her to death. Zarina Benaby. I think that's her married name now. Yeah, right. Yes, Zarina Benaby. Right. So her ear was tuned to the street. She was young. Her ear was tuned to the street. So she said, "Hey, I know something that you might want to try. There's these dudes. They do Drexel Radio. They're all World Star." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah." So you might want to, see if you want to put them on. So he says, "All right." He calls up. He calls at the time. My manager that I had was Purple, Purple Queen. She was our manager for Batcave, roughly.
Is that the girl that the girl that wear the purple all the time?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes, yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. She's been in the game. She's a whole nother. Y'all want to hear some stories? Yeah, y'all go get her. She got some stories. So at the time she was representing us, right? So she goes and they call her because again nobody can get in contact with me because I don't got no contact number out in the streets. This ain't social media. So they get in contact with her. Boss says he wants to meet us. I said, "You want us to come up to the studio? I mean to the station." He says, "No, I'll come down to y'all." I said, "All right." So now mind you, again, Batcave is different. It's different. It's a bunch of niggas down there smoking. It's a hip hop video.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's the fantasy. Is every rapper's fantasy of what a studio would be like in there, right? So he get down there and just like clockwork, is niggas coming through. They're smoking stuff like that. But he sees the vibe and he fucks with it. He's like, "Yo, can you want?" He asked us, "Could we bring it up to 100.3 to beat?" So I said, "Yeah." So we work out the particulars. We work out the particulars, and then we blast off up there. The only thing he told, so the only rule that I asked him was, do I get a playlist? And because I don't know if I could work under a playlist. He said, "No." He said, "You can play whatever you want as long as it ain't dirty." I said, "Whatever?" He said, "Whatever. You not gonna come to me and tell me I gotta play a record?" "Nope. I want the same thing you was doing down there at Drexel." "All right, bet." So with that being said, right? With that being said, don't tell me I left this in my goddamn car. I bet I did. I know this is the most wild interview, right? But
Keep the cameras rolling.
keep the camera fucking rolling. I can't even look. I done left my weed in the car, man. I'm mad as shit. So
P-Phone.
What's up?
You guys was on the radio, and it's this one particular moment. Tommy Hill
Oh wow.
came up on a radio station. It was a rebuttal from Oskino and Ape Gang Garcia being present on the radio station.
That wasn't a rebuttal. That was Hill was on there first.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oskino came and rebutted it.
Got you.
That was an interesting interview.
That was really like people were stuck to the camera.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So, what happened with that was, so everybody was, Hill was already basically in the news, man. Basically, talk about being a rat, all this other shit, right? Being down in Atlanta, getting caught up down there. So, Hill was a type of person where it was like, I ain't got nothing to hide. Fuck it. You know what I mean? So he said he wanted to go on, he wanted to come on the radio, right? So I wasn't his first stop. His first stop was over to Power 99. He went to go see Kev, right? Kev didn't fuck with him. Basically, no, they had beef, they had issues. Just at that point in time, Kev didn't want to deal with him at the time, right? So he comes over and says, "Yo," he says, "Funk, I want to come on to your show." So I said, "All right." I said, "Now listen, I'm going to be real with you. If you come on there, you don't got a lot of rap stuff to talk about. The only thing that we can talk about is what's going on with you, right?" So he says, all right, Funk, but I got projects. I get your projects. But if you come on here, I gotta ask you what's going on, the papers, all this other shit. I gotta ask that, right? We're gonna have to talk about it. So he says, all right, cool, right? And so I told him, I said, he can come on. I told him to, I said, usually I don't give guest rules. I don't. Usually I feel like, you talk about whatever, say whatever you want. But what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna go up there and badmouth people that I kind of fuck with. Like I got relationships with. Now, let's say in the middle of this interview, right? I just say, man, because I don't fuck with blah 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 blah. Now you might not know I don't fuck with him. It might be your homie, right? But it's one thing for me to say it. It's another thing for you to entertain it and dive deeper into it. Word, and you let him get it off. So at that time, he had an axe to grind with Kev, right? So I told him, I said, "There's one more rule you can't break." He said, "What?" I said, "You can't come up here and talk about across the street. You can't. If you do, I'm gonna cut you off." He said, "Oh, folk, that's fucked up. I know you longer than him, blah, blah." I said, "Yeah, I get it. And I said, I ain't got nothing to do with between y'all two. I don't. Kev's my man. You coming up here, what y'all got going on between y'all, I don't want to get in the middle of that shit. I've seen that in the past. When you get in the middle of shit gets sticky. You know what I mean? People die. It's a bunch of shit, right?" So Hill gets up there. I tell Hill to come up with just him and one other person. Hill comes up with 30 motherfuckers. 30. Comes up there. He gets in there and we talk. He starts and we started talking. He tried to go into going in. He tried to go into going across the street. I deflected from that. So I was like, "Come on, Hill, we ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do that." "I know that's your man." "Yup." So we're clear. Yes, that's my guy. No. So that then after that interview just went the way it is. If you how you seen it on YouTube, and went just like that, because it was too many questions that he had to answer about. Did you set this nigga up, and it had nothing to do. I usually stay away from stuff that ain't dealing with music, but this was some shit that it was part of the culture. So all right.
Now, when you got that call from Tommy and he asked, "Can he come up on the show?" What's going through your head?
I'm always a person that tries to figure out, if you ask me for something, I'm trying to figure out why you asking me. Whether it's because you just want to come up, and that's just anything in life. If you ask me for a favor, before I say yes or no, I'm trying to figure out, how does this benefit you and what is this going to really cost me in the long run, right? And then I weigh those options out, and then I move forward. With Hill, I didn't think nothing of it. I think part of it was a little bit for me was I was looking at it like, I'm gonna get some views because I already know what I'm gonna talk about, and I already laid down the ground rules of what you can't say. So other than that, it's fair game for whatever it is. If you want to be a target for these rappers, fine. Like
What happened at Batcave Radio?
Batcave Radio. So we left from. So we were still up at the radio station. Now we're at the main station, right? We're up there, and again, Radio One is always in a flux. No need to hide that. I'm never getting a job there again. They're always in a flux. So, job security over there is not it. So, when they decided to flip the station, right? Uh, they made decisions on what shows they wanted to keep and what shows they didn't want to keep. So the good part about Batcave Radio was when we was on 12 to 3 was we could do whatever we want, say whatever we want, right? Uh, the bad part about that is your ratings for that time, you know, we were blowing them out the door, but you gotta look at it, it's a weekend. So they don't really look at weekend slots, and it's all about sales. So if they can't sell, if sales can't sell your show, you're just dead weight. So I believe what happened, at least on that part, was Radio One decided to cut the show. When they decided to cut the show, it was, you know, it was just an abrupt. I got a call one day. They was like, oh yeah, so we're gonna move in a different direction. It wasn't you, it was us, blah, 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 blah. And that was it. Um, we still did, I still had WKDU at the time. But at that time, like Batcave was like so big, and it was like now traffic going down to Drexel was different. You know, Drexel now I'm bringing down now bigger artists. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting bigger artists. I'm getting more, and they were having an issue with me coming in again because I'm having at that time Drexel was Wednesdays 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. So I always just like working late hours because you can get away with more shit. I can play more records. I could have people come in with, you know, not being noticed. But Batcave was so big. Now this alerted, which probably has never been done before, was it alerted the university itself. They're like, we need more security. Why? Because there's more people in the building. Who's in the building? Like, it's so funny. I'm sitting there with one of the university like upper people. I forget what they was. They was somebody big, right? And so I'm sitting there, and they're like, we never had no radio show, college radio show, right? Bring so much people where now we're asked to bring in an additional person for security for your people. We can't have that. like we can't have that. So I said, what if I tone it down, right? They was like they gave me more stricter rules on what I can do and what I can't do. And then at this time too, it was like anything. Like before, I tell motherfuckers like you can't smoke. You know, like, as y'all can see, I'm a smoker, right? You can't smoke up there. Now I got to police the parking lot outside because now niggas is like, all right, well, I'll smoke outside. The university didn't want you sitting outside smoking, like, you know. So we you know, needless to say, it just got to be too much of a headache, and I just let it go.
All right, so you left Drexel.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
y'all niggas is nosy, man. Nah, I'm playing.
So you off the radio station, off of the mainstream radio station. You back at Drexel, and you guys left Drexel.
Mm-hmm.
What was your journey after that?
So my journey went from there, right? So we were doing after we were done with Drexel, we still was doing the studio at the time. Then probably maybe a little while after that, maybe like 6 months to a year, me and Rug just split. For we split, and I think it's just was, niggas didn't see eye to eye on things, and I wound up I wound up leaving, and he wound up he started that's when Meek had really took off, and he started the beginning process of Dreams and Nightmare. At least that's what Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
So you guys split far as business wise or just relationship wise?
Uh, both. It was both. You know, we just yeah, we it once I left Batcave the studio, you know, basically, he kind of went left and then I went right. Like, yeah.
Was it a money thing?
Uh I think it was a combination of a couple of things. And I'll say this without going too deep into anything. Uh, we just didn't see eye to eye, and from that point on, uh, it just wasn't gonna work. So you know, we just split. So when we did that, I went and just started doing my own thing. Because again, I've always was one that if I've always been out here on my own.
Right.
So even before I got with these guys, with Philadelphia and everything, I've always been that guy to just try to make it happen. And even though at the time me and him was a team, at that time, once we didn't see eye to eye on things anymore, I knew that, I still had to make it happen and figure it out for myself. So that's kind of what I did. I moved around. I did studio time. I did studios, a couple other places. And then after that, I kind of concentrated more on radio and just been relevant, just being alive.
What happened to Donna?
Donna went in. Everybody asking about Donna. So Donna. She's managing now. She has an R&B artist. She's gonna kill me because I don't remember the R&B artist that she's managing right now. But she's doing good. She's managing artists. She's managing her R&B artist now. He's from Jersey, so she's still. I still talk to her all the time. She still press my buttons. I still love her. But yeah, she's still doing good. As far as Malk G's,
DJ Malk G's.
Yeah, it's funny. I found him in a skating ring. Actually, I didn't find him in a skating ring. Let me rephrase that. Shout out Brock. Brock found him in a skating ring, and Brock, because I needed a DJ for KDU, he said I got the perfect DJ. And believe it or not, this boy was perfect. He was on time. I ain't got to worry about nothing. He had all the records I needed to, instrumentals lined up. So niggas get up there, they want to rap. He'd be like, I got a bunch of them. What you need? So he was always that guy. He was one, and then I had DJ Aphrodisiac. She's a female DJ. I loved her too. I found her at I was at Warm Daddy's one night, and
shout outs to Warm Daddy's.
Yeah, right. Black Thought had this. Black Thought had this. This what's the name down there? It was some type of thing they were doing down there for him, and so I came down there to check it out. And so I see this DJ over there, right? I was like, okay. I was looking for something different, you know what I mean? So she was over there, she was DJing, you know what I mean? But at the time, the only thing she couldn't do, she kept telling me was, she said, I can't scratch. So I remember I found her, I said, yo, I need a DJ. She says, all right, cool. She's like, but listen, I can't scratch. I said, but can you blend? She said, yeah, I can blend my ass off. I said, fuck it. I said, fuck it. You're hired, right? She came in. That was her. She's doing good. But yeah, like, to bring it back around, I've always just tried to stay relevant. Like even right now, like I'm in the gaming and streaming right now. I got my own podcast that I'm doing. It's called Unscripted RX. Yeah. So I still get to poke at people's lives. I still get to talk my shit. Uh, uh, but yeah, I do that. I'm just doing that now. And I'm just enjoying life. I'm not even gonna lie. I realized that, and I was just telling somebody this. I think EA. I was telling them how when I go out nowadays, again, I don't know the effect that I had on people like y'all, right? Like, you guys were telling me how you guys come home and you couldn't wait to listen to the show, right? And I never knew what type of effect that was until probably in my recent years, now. And sitting here and people come up and be like, yo, ain't you the boy? Oh, you this boy that was, yep. Yo, I used to watch you all the time. I used to listen to you in jail. Yo, I used to do this. Yeah, I get it, man. Like, but I never knew what type of real effect I really had on a person, man. Like, which goes to the back when we was talking about how I was a hater. So I was like, damn. So I guess all these people thought I was just hating on motherfuckers, man. I was like, no, but it's interesting and humbling at times.
Right.
Because I ain't used to that, man. I'm not. I'll be out with my wife. My wife is like, yo, you know everybody. Like, she's like, who doesn't speak to you? Like, she says, I remember when I first met my wife, right? We were in Vegas, right? And so I'm in Vegas and random shit. Random in Vegas, minding my business. I'm standing at this dispensary, right? I go in there to buy my weed. I go into this dispensary. I just wanted to get high, right? I go in there. Just so happened, I get in there. The spot's called the Grove. Is right off the Vegas Strip. It's right off the strip, right? It's called the Grove. So I go in there, and when I go in there, this is like 2017. Boy loses his fucking mind on the other side of the counter, right? Oh shit! Yo! I look around, I swear to God, right? I look around. I go, fuck is wrong with you? He says, yo, you don't even understand. Uh-oh. So my wife at the time was my girlfriend, right? She's like, she don't know what the fuck going on. Because truth be told, she don't even really know my other life. I always tell her my secret identity is P-Funk. Other than that, she knows Philip. That's who she knows, right? So we're sitting there and boy loses his mind and she's just looking at me. And so then he starts to tell me where he knows me from. So I was like, oh, okay. I still don't, it doesn't, so he tells me and he says, you don't even remember me, man. I came through to the studio and da-da-da.
This is in Vegas.
Vegas, right? At the Grove. This motherfucker's working there behind the counter. Attendant number 5, whatever the fuck his name was, right? He loses his mind, right? He goes, oh man, you don't even understand, man. Yo, man. In fact, you got me something about got him started to where he moved out to Vegas. I laughed. I walk out. I said, yo, this nigga changed his life because I told him something. And he moved his music career out to Vegas. But I say all that to say, right? I didn't really know what type of effect that I had on people, right? Like, it was weird. I'll tell you another quick story because I know y'all could be like, yo, I don't got enough time for all these stories.
Oh, we got time. We got time. We changed the memory card. We got time.
So I never forget when Batcave, like when we first started doing Batcave Radio, right? So and we run the streets, did a DVD. right? For us. He talked me into doing a DVD. I don't care about no DVD. He says, oh, he said, Funk, they'll kill him on the streets. He said, because I was like, yo, I don't got time to be dealing with that. So if you're gonna do it, if it's gonna get done, just tell me what I got to give you, and do I got to make copies? Answer, no problem. I got it, right? So I don't think about it, right? DVD comes out, right? I'm in the mall, Cherry Hill Mall, right? And at the time, I was dating this chick, and I had my daughter. She might have been like 10 at the time, right? We're in Cherry Hill Mall at the Foot Locker. These 4 Puerto Rican bulls was in there, right? The one Puerto Rican bull says, yo, ain't you the bull? Now, mind you, right? I've always been a backseat type of guy. So I'm not used to people really like point me out. Like nowhere near I'm famous. I'm not famous. I would say I'm mildly popular, right? So
famous.
Not. I'm just mildly popular. That's what I am. I'm mildly popular.
Vegas, come on.
So I go, right? And I'm sitting there. He says, no, you the bull. Yo, this the bull. So mind you, right? I'm like, what? My daughter's sitting there, right? And at the time, this chick that I was dating, she was there, right? I'm thinking the worst. 4 Puerto Rican niggas slid up. I might have popped your woman. Y'all got me. Something happened where I'm thinking all the wrong things, right? So immediately, right, I go in the hood mode, right? This nigga said, no, he right here. So his boy slid up on me like this, right? They said, shoo, right? So I'm like this. So when they said, shoo, I pushed my daughter. Yo, it's so funny. I pushed my daughter out the way like this. I said, phew. So I figured, look, if we gonna go into a rumble, at least I get them out the way.
She out.
Yeah, y'all go get help. I'll be all right? So then bull go, man, you don't even understand, man. I'm a big fan, man, blah, blah, blah. I said, huh? Yo, can we get a picture? A picture? Sure. So I said, sure. So, needless to say, right, I wasn't used to that. And the funny part about that is it's not that I haven't been around stars. I've been around a lot of stars, a lot of artists, different stuff. So I'm used to them getting attention, right? But, you know, it's easier for me to sit back and watch them all say, oh my God, I want to be around you, oh, blah, 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 blah. That shit not coming to me.
Right.
But when the flashlight's on you, it's a different story. And it was so funny. That shit happened to me. Then recently it just happened to me out in LA. I was in some fucking I was in LA with my wife, right? We took the kids out to LA for they wanted to go out there. So I had some business I had to take care of and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I go out there and I'm in this again random ass fucking shopping mall strip, right? Random. I had to go get some I needed a brush. And some grease for my head, right? So I found this old hood beauty salon joint, right? I go in there and I take my wife's son. He at the time he was I think like 16, 17, some shit like that, right? So I say he wanted to go in the store with me. We go in the store, right? As I'm walking out, I hear, yo! Man, young boy, look around. Yo, oh my God, what you doing over here? Who are you? Why you ask me what the fuck you mean? Oh man, you don't think I know. You P-Funk, you the boy, you Batcave, man. You know I sent a bunch of shit. Dog, why are you in this strip, John? Oh, Slauson. It was this John was like, no, it was on was this on Slauson? Slauson, I think that's called how you say it, right?
Yeah,
over there, right?
Slauson.
Yeah,
Slauson, yeah.
it was over there. It was that because it was a Raising Cane in the same motherfucking strip joint, right? So this boy comes out, and so now my stepson, he says he's looking at me, right? And this boy's going ape shit, right? Oh my God, oh man, pictures and everything. So right, I go, he walks away, and then he said, I didn't even know you was famous. I said the same thing. I'm not famous. I'm mildly popular. I'm mildly popular. So, but yeah, it's been, I say all that to say that this journey that I've been on is it's been a humbling experience, and I start to appreciate now, kind of, some of the things that again we did. I didn't realize, if I had told you back then that Meek was going to be a star, and nobody knew that. Same thing goes for Yaz, Gil, you name it. They came through there. And it was the end spot.
Now, would we be able to get another Batcave Radio, being as though you created it?
Mm-hmm.
Will we be able to get that?
That's a good question. I don't think you would get it the way it was. I think the reason why Batcave Radio was the way it was because of the time span that it was in. I think at this day and age, number one, I don't think realistically people don't listen to radio like that no more. So I think that's number one. At that time, radio only played. You gotta remember the history with rap. At one point they weren't playing rap on the radio. You go all the way back to Lady B and all them and all them old school people. Which I give them credit for paving the way. At one point, one of the real reasons why I did radio at night to do what I wanted to do was because those artists weren't going to get played on mainstream. They weren't. Now it's a little bit different. An artist can just put their stuff out. They don't need a person like me. They don't, to be honest with you, they don't need a person like Kev. If they really want to, they can just put this out, on their own and get your own machine together and push it. So the answer to that question probably would be no, or it wouldn't be in that same form.
Well, a lot of people beg the difference that artists still need radio.
Really?
They say they need DJ Cosmic Kev.
Yeah.
So
respectfully.
I'll answer that with this, right? And I used to tell people this all the time, right? And I use it with Meek as an example, right? Meek was a person when his first joint that he had on the radio was In My Bag. Can we all agree?
Yes.
Right? Meek did that in the beginning without Kev. Did it without Kev. He did it to the point where he kind of forced his hand for y'all to look at In My Bag, In My Bag, In My Bag. You feel what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, when a person says Kev is a gatekeeper or I was a gatekeeper, the first thing I tell a person is never let someone else dictate your career. Never. If I feel as though you're in the way of getting to where I want, I'm just gonna go around you. It might take a task of me going around you if that's the case, but people shouldn't feel like if I don't get on Kev on the Come Up Show, and I'm just using that example, if I don't get on the Come Up Show or if I don't get on Batcave Radio, I'm not gonna make it. Because truth be told, there were artists that I played, they didn't make it. They didn't. They went as far as that song went, which was 4 weeks, maybe 6. That's what they did. So I always tell people that, like, when people say you're defending, like you say, I always reference Kev at times, but it wasn't just defending him; it's defending myself. It's like, why are you worried about? It's the same thing. Why are you worried about me saying I don't like the record? I don't like it. That doesn't mean, right, that that it's not a good record. It just means that I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. I'm human, but I always tell people, don't let that person's opinion stop you from your drive. That's just how I feel.
Do you think that the artists in the city feel like if they don't make it in a hometown, it don't really count, no matter how much success you put in front of them?
Well, I figured this, right? It's always good to have your whole team behind you, your whole town behind you, but that's no set plan. I mean, let's look at Uzi. Uzi went to Atlanta. He did. You can say whatever you want. He went to Atlanta. I feel like if you're hot, there's nothing that's gonna be able to stop anybody from denying your talent. I think the problem is with people is they get hung up on, I need to be with this person. Granted, it is a business. You do need to align yourself with people. There's nothing wrong with you having a relationship with different people. I got a lot of relationships. I'm always a fan of having as many relationships as possible. Person that taught me that one was Charlie Mack. Charlie Mack taught me that you can make a career off of relationships. You can make a career, and that's no slight to what to him. That just means that man figured it out and makes his relationships work for him. With that being said, you do need to make relationships, but he doesn't make excuses for why if he does come up short or if he has a problem, he don't make excuses. You figure out a way around it. So that's exactly what I used to tell artists. I might not like it. Take it someplace else. Oh man, you and Kev. No, me and Kev. Like people used to always say back then, me and Kev used to get on the phone and collaborate on records. We did not. We did not.
They really said that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Here's another myth, right? Truth be told, I didn't pick none of the records that motherfuckers played on Batcave Radio. I didn't. I might have interjected and put in a artist that I might have liked, right? Like I might have been in the studio and I just fuck with them. Yo, it ain't about you. I fuck with them. I think you need a chance. I play them. But for the most part, those DJs that you heard on there, they picked their own records. They picked them. Like I didn't do that. Only thing I said was my rule was, which people thought was horrible, was if they play them on the radio, if I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you on the radio. Like one boy, this one was we was on the beat one time, right? And so y'all remember the bull, the battle rapper Iron Solomon?
Yeah.
Right? So he had just battled Ness, right? And at the time he cooked Ness. He did. He cooked him. He was in Florida. He cooked him, right? But what I feel like all the time is battle rappers don't make the best fucking songs. None of them do. And before you start giving me examples of battle rappers that do, them niggas really weren't battle rappers. They were rappers that jumped into the battle rap ring.
Right.
So
Right.
So I never forget Iron Solomon. He comes up and he's a fan. Seen us on World Star. Wanted to come through. I say, yeah, no problem, man. All right, cool, right? So my rule with anything is, because they're all artists, if you got a record, you know, because I really want your freestyle. That's really what I wanted. I wanted your freestyle. Your record, all right, what you got? And I'll play it. Even if it's trash, I'll play it, but I won't trash it. It's like, in other words, I'll be like, yo, we got a new Iron Solomon record. And if it's a bad record or if it's whatever it is, I just won't say nothing. I'll be like, yo, you know, let's let the people talk, you know. And then if the people start calling in this trash, I won't, you know, I wasn't that messy, right? But on this particular night, right, Iron Solomon hits me and says his management says he wants to come up, wants to do the show. I said, all right, cool, do the show. And it was the week he called. I said, come up the following week. So I was on the air that Saturday night, right? So I'm sitting in the fucking control room. At the time, I had this DJ named DJ Quick. He older DJ, but he kind of didn't go through all his records. So whatever a motherfucker sent him, that shit was going on. He didn't check. Only thing he checked was see if it was dirty or not. He was that was it. Other than that, if a motherfucker sent him a trash ass record, that joint was going on there, right? So what happened was Iron Solomon people. Usually I tell them, I say, look, if you got any music or anything like that, just, you know, send it to the DJ so then he'll have it, right? So they were usually artists send it up right before their interview or something like that. They were on their business. They sent it up like a week in advance, right? Cool. I didn't know this, right? I'm on the air. It's like 12. No. It's like 11:30. I'll never forget this. It was funny. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking and everything, and all of a sudden I hear this record. This joint is trash. I mean, trash, right? So I'm sitting there. You know, we sitting there talking. It's like in the background. I said, what the fuck is this? I said, what the fuck is this? He doesn't answer, right? I don't think he hears me, right? I said, oh man, I'm gonna fix this problem right now, right? Turn on the mic. I click on the mic, right? I said, I don't know what trash this is, but Batcave Radio doesn't stand by this. We don't stand behind trash ass rappers like this. What? Then I dropped a bomb on it, right? Then I had like a sound effect. It was like breaking like a CD. Like it was like, I talk crazy about this record, right? So I said, in fact, I'm going to keep talking over this record till the DJ changes it to another record. That's how I don't want to contaminate the ears of our listeners, right? So I go in, right? Everybody's in the room, we're laughing, we're having a good time, we're laughing. DJ changed the record, right? I say, yep, now back to our regular programming, you know, boom, Batcave, right? Whatever it was, right? Fucking DJ runs in the room, he says, yo, what are you doing? I said, what, man? So I'm like, stop playing trash records, man. This is your lesson. Stop playing trash records, and I won't bash them over the air, man. So he says, yo, that was the boy you want to interview next week. I said, yeah.
What?
So right. so Bull come up the next week, right? Now, here's the thing, right? I can't just now come back in the next week and say, yo, this is fire, right? I mean, I trashed this record. I mean, on air, this is, yo, nobody should ever listen to this. This is harmful to ears, right? Bull comes up, big fan, yo, you can see it in his face, right? Like, yo, man, P-Funk, man, I watched you, man, I watched all y'all, Donna D, man, oh, man, you know, you can see it in his eyes that he was excited because, you know, again, he does this. He gets on World Star. He feels like he's gonna get on World Star. This is another thing to push his career, right? So I said, yeah. So right before he got up there, Donna hits me. Me and Donna used to ride up together, right? So she says, so what you gonna do? So I said, man, I gotta tell the truth, right? She said, yeah, you gotta tell the truth. So he gets up there. Here's the funny part. I don't even tell him off the air what I did so I can prepare him, right? He clicks on the mic, gets on there, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm a big fan of the show, man. Oh, man, I see y'all on World Star. I had to make, and he drove from wherever the fuck he came from up here. Wherever the fuck he's from, he drove up here in the middle of the night to get here, right? I said, yeah, man, before we get started, I'm not gonna lie, right? So I said, my DJ, he's not here this week, but he played your record last week, right? I'm not gonna lie, I trashed your record.
What?
Yeah. So his face was like this, right? His face was like, like he couldn't believe he walked into some shit like this, right?
Right.
Like, which I can agree. Like, yo, like, what the fuck you talking? Like, I just told you I'm a big fucking fan. You just told me last week you shitted on my record, and I was like, yeah, I did. Like, I said, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Yeah, I did like it. I said, but I told him, I said, which I don't know if it helped. I said, but I didn't know it was your record. As if that was going to change anything, right?
Like for real.
So he's sitting there now. He's tight, right? He's like, but you got cameras on you, right? So it's like it's like, I don't know if he, like, I always say, man, if he was like maybe like a half an inch taller, he probably would have reached over there and stole me, man. Like he was that bad, right?
It's
He's a short bull, right?
Yeah.
So I said, but this is what I'll do, right? Let's play your John again, right? And let's let the people decide. Because I said, I'm just a man with one opinion. Donna said I made that worse. She said, you know, but I mean, what are you supposed to do? So I said, let's let the people decide, right? So I said, they go, plays the record. Now he's tight. I mean, he is tight. He's sitting there and this record's just playing and it's not going good. Calls are coming in.
Oh my goodness.
Fuck, you broke this last week. Why are you playing it again? This John trash. Yeah, it was trash. And so I didn't even play those over the air. I didn't. And usually I play them in the room, right? But I already trashed the record. So for real, all you gonna get is this boy stink. Ness should have cooked him. I don't know, blah 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 blah. So the board op that I had, he was catching all the calls. He was like, he kept looking at me every time a call come. He go,
Ain't it?
I said, yeah. I said, all right, man. You know what? He's like, so then, I think Malk was on that night, and Malk says, yo, so what we gonna do? Because usually you have a set program. We're gonna play calls. I said, nah, we're gonna go straight to the freestyles, right? This boy he came in, he was like, whew. I said, man, what beat you ain't got? He said, I got a beat, right? He sat down. He did a half-ass freestyle. It's still up there. He did a half-ass freestyle, and it was like maybe, this is the fastest freestyle I ever heard, like maybe 16 bars. It's like, that joint was fast. He did it fast. He was the only artist that I know he didn't want to take no picture with me.
Well, you dashed this record. Yo.
He couldn't take the truth, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny, and I said this too, right? Like, I told people, because I never got a chance. I would apologize to the bull, right? you know, because I wouldn't have did like my goal, right, wasn't to play niggas, right? But you know, if you really sent it in, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you want me to do? You know, usually I just don't play it. Like, I just won't play it, so I don't got to play you on the air. But that record slipped through everything. Like, I'm the same guy that I told Lupe Fiasco, right? I was doing an interview with him, and when I was in there, he comes down to Batcave, and this is Lupe's second CD, right? The first one I liked. Kick Push, I liked, right? It's like 7 joints on there I liked, right? Felt like that was a good album. Lupe gave me another album, right? He gave us another album, right? And I looked at the album and I listened to it, right? And John was trash. At least that's my eye.
Whoa, is that the Superstar one?
I think it's one of them albums. It might have been, if it wasn't Superstar, it might have been, maybe, if it wasn't Superstar, it might have been, I don't know how many albums he had, because after that I fell off for Lupe. Wow. But needless to say, right? He came down and I was like, yo, that first album, fire. Right? Thanks, man. Appreciate that, man. Hey, man, but that second album, I wouldn't break bud up on that joint.
Oh my goodness.
He said, I say, hey, man, I'm just telling you, like, if I'm a consumer, I bought the fucking album. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta understand, I bought that album. Like I remember I told this to Rayquon. We laughed about this on kind of recently, right, over the years. So first time I got to interview Rayquon, right? I'm a big fucking fan.
Yeah, me too.
Purple Tape. Come on, man.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
What? See Rayquon, man. Couldn't wait. I had all these questions, man. Yo, I tell Rayquon come down. That's when he shows me that's a whole nother episode. Y'all want to talk about that one. When he showed me the footage of Joe Buttons, when he had that him and that beef with Joe Buttons. Oh my God, that was the funniest footage ever I've seen in my life.
Yeah. So that was a bad look for Joe.
Yeah. Yo, y'all never seen the footage. Y'all never seen the whole footage. You never seen the whole footage.
Wait. Only footage I seen was Joe with the ice pack.
Yeah, so you got to know how he got the ice pack to his head.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
So I'll tell y'all this. Fuck it. Fuck Joe. No, so what happened was with that real quick, right? Wait a minute, who are we talking about here? Joe Buttons, yes. So Joe Buttons was beefing with Method Man, right? It was some shit going on with him and Method Man. It was something going on there. It's been so long ago, I really don't know the particulars of it, but whatever it was, Method Man was mad and him and Joe had beef, right? So Rayquon had kind of stepped in the middle of it, squashed it, right? So it was squashed. Method Man was cool. Hey, Joe, don't worry about it. Whatever the misunderstanding was, right? So instead of leaving it alone, Joe went on there and posted some other shit with him and Mickey Fax, right? I don't know, y'all remember that guy, right?
Yep, Mickey Fax,
right?
Now.
Mickey Fax, they posted some shit, right? They posted shit, and Rayquon wasn't feeling it at all, right? So now, mind you, this is the first time I'm meeting Rayquon ever, right? On a personal tip. I've seen him out before, but this is the first time I'm about to interview this boy, and I got nothing. All this I'm about to tell y'all had nothing to do with the interview, right? I had all the questions about shit, right? So he gets down there, and so we get down there, and when he gets down there, it was an incident that happened on 8th and Shelton. We had the studio up on 8th and Shelton, right? And we had some footage. I'm not gonna go into the reason why we had this footage, but fact remains we had this footage of this nigga getting manhandled in the fucking studio, right? Had some footage. So we kept this, right? Because we used to sit back and laugh about this shit all the time. Right. You know, we used to sit back and laugh. Every time we needed something to laugh about, we play this fucking footage, right? So
who we talking about?
I don't want to go into that one. I want to go into that. I want to go. So right. So we're down there, right? So we got this footage, right? And so Rayquon was like, "Yo, man, you know, at the time in the studio was me. Before I went to interview, Gil was down there." And it was me, Gil, Rug, Rayquon, Dan Smalls was his handler, was Rayquon's handler. So, I think Brock was down there. So anyway, right, we show him the footage. He's like, yo, you boys bad it down here, right? That's what Ray was like. He said, what? Y'all got footage? Let me show you something, right? So Ray said, man, go get the laptop. Right?
The laptop.
So Ray gets the laptop. They go to the truck, get the laptop. He said, y'all want to see some shit? Right? So it's them at I think it was Jack the no. It's either at Rolling Loud or
no, it was Ice something.
It was some type of festival. It was I don't know if it was Rolling Loud or something like that. They were all at a festival, right? Joe Budden was there, right?
Right.
Joe Budden and Rayquon was there. So all of a sudden, this video footage starts out with Joe and his trailer. Rayquon comes in. It was Rayquon and his security, right? He comes in, walks in, and as he walks in, he goes in there and Joe was sitting there. It was like trailer. It was a bed in there. It was Mickey Fax was sitting on the floor right over there. And it was like a couple of white people in there, right? Nobody from the streets was in this room except Rayquon, his security, and Joe, right? Rayquon walks in, tells the security, some gangster shit, man, some cool gangster shit, right? He comes in, he walks in, tells security, close the fucking door, right? Everybody's like this, right? He said, don't nobody fucking move in this room, right? So he goes, right? He says, don't nobody move. So nobody's moving. He go over to Joe, right? And his whoever big boy was steals the shit out of Joe. Bang, right? Joe go, my eye, right?
Like that?
What? He hits the floor, goes in the fetal position, right? He go, my eye, oh man. He said, don't nobody fucking move in this room. Ray said it again, nobody better not move, right? Now I didn't see no burner, nothing. It was just Ray and this big nigga in here, right? So he's sitting there, right? Joe rolling around. He got socked in his eye, right? Ray gets him up, puts him in a chair like this, right? Gets him up, put him in a chair. He says, hey, I need you to focus. He said, a lot of you not, dog. He said, hey, I need you to focus because right now you have bigger problems than your fucking eye right now. That's what he said to him, right? So I said, man, this is like some movie shit.
Right, I'm like,
gangster,
this is
right?
a movie.
A lot of y'all not, man. I swear on everything I love. That's how it went, right? So now the ice pack comes into play, right? Because he got socked in the eye, right? So Joe trying to explain everything and Ray not kind of hearing it, right? Now, mind you, again, Ray is sitting down again like this, right? Just like this. And he said, no, keep your hands right there. Keep them right there. He said, no, you cool, right? He said, no, don't focus on him. Focus on me, right? That's all he kept saying, right? So he kept asking, he said, no, I ain't do this, blah, blah, blah. I would never do that, blah, 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 blah. So I think, because you're watching the video, I guess security was about to come into to Joe's, what's his name, because he had these people in there shook, right? It was some cold shit fucking Rayquon did after this, right? So after he got whatever the answers it was, right? Joe Budden, because he got got the hat knocked. He had his hat knocked off of him, right? This nigga picked his hat up, right? Put it on his head like a little kid, right? Put it on his head. He said, yeah, man. He said, hey, man, don't be doing stuff out there. Keep it safe. And then patted him on his head and walked out. I said, dog, that was the coldest shit ever. That was the coldest shit ever, man.
Oh my goodness.
like I tell you, man, we laughed about that for years, man.
It actually happened at Lollapalooza.
That's what it was. Lollapalooza. I knew it was something. It was something that it was a festival that he was at. Now Joe would probably sit back and say, "No, that didn't happen." It did happen. Now, again, I feel like Ray is a thorough dude because apparently it didn't get out. You know, so
right. Listen, I was at the Brooklyn Bowl, me and Dane, a few years ago.
No, it's the Blue Note.
Huh?
It's the Blue Note. The Blue Note.
Nah, Blue Note was the first one. And it was Brooklyn Bowl.
Right.
So we at the Brooklyn Bowl.
Mhm.
Kane is on the stage performing. I look to my right. I'm jamming. We looking at who that Bilal. Bilal was up on the stage with Kane performing. I look to my right. It's Rayquon. Like a fan, just chilling.
Rayquan's a good dude, man. He's
Real good dude.
Real good dude, down
man.
to earth. All the interviews, all the times I've known Ray, we had encounters. Always been a stand-up dude. Always been cool. It's something funny I tell you about Rayquon, right? So that same story I told y'all, right? I get all that, I hear all that, right? We laugh and we joke it, right? So now it's time for the interview, right? So interview comes up. Again, I get in there, I say, yo, I got the man, the myth, the legend. Got Rayquon, the chef. Oh man, yep. Yeah, you know what you doing in town? You know, I'm just working, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Hey man, that purple tape, fire. Still playing that joint, right? He said, yeah. I said, but yo, a Mobilarity, that double album you gave me, you owe me $18.20.
You told the chef that?
Chef said, word? Yo, that joint was trash, man. Joint was trash. I bought that album. I bought it. Anything that I buy, right? I feel I have a right to tell you whether it was good or not. I bought it. I paid for it. I didn't cheat you out the money. I didn't even get, at the time, promotional copies. I went and bought this copy. I couldn't wait for this Mobilarity to come out. It was a double CD. I said, I only like one genre on that song, man. $18.20, man. That's what you owe me. That's what you owe me, man.
P-Funk, is you a dream killer?
No. No. But you gotta know if you put out trash, man. Like, you gotta know. Same thing as when I told y'all when I started recording, man. Yo, when I started recording, man, I know every recording that I did wasn't good. Some of them was trash. But you learn, it's like you learn, you get better. I feel like when you're in this business, you have to, you gotta take the good with the bad. Like, for every person that liked me, there's a person out there, there's probably 5 people that hated on me. So right. I get it. I feel like, I felt like I was the voice for real for the people. I say that to this day. When I'm around, I was just with De La Soul last night, right? And he was playing me Mace was spinning. I was at a live stream at Jazzy Jeff House, and Mace was spinning and Pos was there. So we're sitting there, we're talking, and they played me a new joint, right? Got new De La music. Okay. Got no problem with older artists, I feel like put them out, but sometimes music is skeptical, right? I feel like when I heard it, it was a joint they did is new joint they got with is De La Soul and Chuck D, right? I personally like it, right? I do. So, but I tell Paz, right? Because and he says, yo, you's a hard critic. I said, I come from the side of a fan. It's what I, I'm sorry. It's what I like. I'm a fan. So if I don't get what I need as a fan, like I'm disappointed. You just don't hear it because there's no way for a person to hear it because you just sold the music. That's it. So I'm only telling y'all now, the only thing I try not to do, at least I've gotten better over the years, is not be so belligerent with my answers. Like, yo, you're trash. Now it's just, I just don't like it.
It's not my taste.
Yes, it's not my cup of tea. Yeah. It's not my cup of tea. Like, but yeah, I've always been like that. I've always been from the fans' point of view. I don't take it. I see how the artist is and I see how they work. But, at the end of the day, people like you'll say, am I a dream crusher, right? No. When you come into that studio and there's two things that I felt like I always wanted to come across as. When you come in there and book time, my job, what I learned in the beginning was not to really give you my opinion what I think you are Jay-Z or not. That's not my opinion. That's not what my job is. My job is just to make you sound good. Now, if you ask me, you want my opinion, be prepared for the answer. Because when you come in there, when a person comes into the studio, they want to be that Jay-Z. They want to be whoever they think they are in their head. They want to be Little Uzi. They want to be whoever they visualize. It's not my job to say, hey, man, keep your day job. That's not it. But if you ask me, or if you want to pursue that down the road and say, hey, man, this is what I want to do. You think I should do it? I don't know. Maybe you should keep your day job at the post office. Maybe that's what you need to do. I get that sometime. I got that. Nigga came up to me and said, yo, you had an effect on my life. I said, ooh, what did I say? Depending on what I said, right? So he told me, he said, yo, don't let nobody give up on your dreams. Don't make nobody blow my whole thing is, and I tell people, I said, never let a person blow your flame out. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, right, is every person in them has a flame. It's like a little candle flame, just like this right here. It's like, but it's easy to blow out if you let a person get to it, right? And once you let a person blow that out, it's very hard to reignite that. So you don't make no difference. I could tell you I don't like that fucking record. I might just not have an ear for that. I remember I told Nelly, right? This is years ago. He played Down Down Baby, right? The whole thing with the Band-Aid, all that. Just he played that shit, right? Played that shit for me. I listened to it. He said, what you think, Wardy? Trash. And it never work up here. It never worked. That's what I said, right? A couple of weeks later, I'm on the road with Ram Squad, Tracy Lee, and that's when Rap City comes on, right? We're in Boston. Down Down Baby hits fucking number 10 on the countdown at that time, right? It was like, I remember they used to do back in the day, it was the new music, and then if that new music made it, then it gets to the countdown. Well, it skipped new music and went right to number 10 on the countdown, right?
Right.
That record never looked back. And I always tell people, right? I said, see, if I was the A&R on there, I'd have been fucking fired because I let that fucking record go because I thought it wouldn't work. So again, it's about your perspective. Don't let me deter you from your shit.
And the industry, they do it. They've done it. They miss a lick on artists. Yeah. I've done it. Yeah. He's done it, and it's trial and error,
I feel like, again, man, you gotta, if your passion is whatever it is, if it's painting, if it's rapping, if it's you want to be a mechanic, don't let nobody fucking stop you in doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, now I do say it's time limit on shit. Me being 51 now, right? So I can't say now, yo, listen, you know what? I want to be in the NBA. Missed that window, buddy. You know what I mean? I feel like, same thing with rap. Sometimes you miss your window. Our artist might be hot, young or old, might be hot right here, but if you fuck around and miss it, you might not get a chance to get back to that window again, because the key to being, and I heard Eric Sermon say this on an interview, the key, you want to have records that make you money in the future. Like, to a certain extent, I think he worded it a little bit differently, but
longevity.
You want longevity. You want records that you can perform and make money on 20 years from now. I don't see that right now with the newer artists again, but I'm looking from an older perspective. I don't hear hits. I don't hear something that, I always say, I wonder what the old school at noon is going to be in 20 years from now. like what is that going to be like? I think, like I said, it's all about your perspective. It's all about, what you feel you want to do. And again, like I always say, don't let me, don't let Kev, don't let nobody deter you for what your dream is. Because it's your dream.
We recently lost a legend, Gary O. Did you have any relationship with Gary?
I do Gary. I do Gary. Gary do me. I didn't have too many interactions with Gary. Gary was a different era of hip hop for me. So if I'm old school, he was old school. So I didn't have a real relationship with him. I think it was sad what happened. My condolences go to his family. But yeah, things like that happens, man. Like, I realize in life now, now people start talking like life is short and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't really dwell on things like that. I'm always a positive guy. I always, my condolences to his family and stuff like that. But life moves on.
Right.
And it's probably gonna sound heartless, and probably gonna get all type of flack because, see, folk, you're hating. I'm not hating. it's just and again, I didn't have a real relationship with him, but I know he did put his mark down here in the city. He did a lot of stuff. He put on a lot of shows and did a lot of things that some promoters / DJs weren't able to do. I know he helped open up the doors for some DJs, put them on shows and stuff like that. So, I get it. So, for whatever you feel about the man or whatever, it is what it is. I just look at it like, dudes I do when we had our interactions, it was A-okay. If I needed to get into one of his shows, he didn't have an issue with, taking care of me, anything like that. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I didn't really, deal with him like that.
You guys had 2 legendary freestyles on Batcave Radio.
We did?
Yup. One of them was when Meek Mills, he just
Meek Millie again?
Yeah, he got out of jail.
Yeah.
And this Meek with the dreads.
Meek with the dreads, okay.
He came on there with O'Malley, and he kicked this crazy freestyle. He was just going in.
So that one was spontaneous. So we found out that Meek was coming home that day, right? Mind you, Meek was listening to us every day in lockup because what nothing else to do. So and everybody thinks that we played Meek regardless. we did play a lot of Meek, but he was giving us heat. Like, he was giving us shit that we can play. Like, motherfuckers was losing their mind over new shit that he got, so that he was putting out. So that particular incident, we found out, we didn't know if he was coming home or not that day, right? So it was kind of iffy, you know what I mean? And then Charlie called me. He said, nope. He said, no, P-Funk. He's coming home today. He's gonna be there tonight. So I was like, all right. 12 o'clock come, no Meek. 12:30 come, no Meek. 1 o'clock, no Meek. I guess he's not coming up. About like 1:30, 1:45, here come Meek, right? And when I mean here he come, this nigga looked like he just got out of lockup. Came straight there, right? I love you for that, dog. I love you for that. That nigga looked like they took him right out. As soon as they released him, he said, yo, take me right over there, man. Take me right over. I got some heat that I need to get off my chest, right? And so he gets there, right? He gets there, and y'all see the footage. He's sitting there and shit like that, right? I said, Meek, what you want? Give me anything. When he got in there, right? You could tell he couldn't wait to get in there because he just started spitting, right? And I didn't think, again, at the time, I'm just thinking these are just one of the many freestyles that I've done, right? I didn't realize, of course, he gets big, and the next thing you know, boom. I think Nard gives me a call. He says, yo, YouTube called. They want to use that footage in a movie or some shit like that. They wanted to use the footage. You got, I think either he had to sign off or I had to sign off on it. But I realized, like a lot of times, I don't really go back and watch shit on YouTube, right? I should, right? But I don't. But when I looked, I said, oh shit. I said, Young Bull got some views. And so yeah, I guess I got that one. I don't know what the second one is. That one.
Second one was Sandman.
Sand Cannon was this
with the no. It's how he was holding the earphones.
I remember that. So that story was so Sand comes up, right? First of all, I think Sandman is a good MC. But very stubborn. Wants to do it his way, right? So in that particular case with the headset, right? I think we was trying to. He came up there. We was trying to give him different headsets, right? And I think he got into the flow of things, and he didn't want to switch headsets, and so he just kept rapping, and that shit just looked weird on there, man. Like,
it definitely did. It definitely did, man. Yeah. But you guys, one thing that you guys did, P-Funk, was you brought awareness, you brought attention back to Philadelphia. It was something that I believe every artist wanted to be a part of. They wanted to be on your camera. They needed to be on those episodes.
Yeah.
And when Mount G's, I guess he branched off.
Yeah, so yeah, Mount branched off and did I think MF, so I think, what was the name? MF Mondays or some shit like that, I think. I fucked it up. If I did, I'm sorry. Been high. Yeah, he wound up doing that, which was cool. I felt like when it's all said and done, man, all those things like that, man, was something that I was happy for everybody, man. Like, my goal was, it might not be a lot of money involved, but I was always a person to try to give you opportunity and a chance. Because I felt like when I was coming up, nobody gave me a chance. And I had to figure it out myself. And I never liked that shit. I think, so the whole thing with a gatekeeper thing doesn't rub me the wrong way. I just know that I wasn't that. And I've heard that about people. Again, some rapper just came up to me and said that, like, yo, man, if you ain't record down there, I was like, no. Again, you didn't have to record down there, you know, fucking speak to me. Like, I was one of those people that was an approachable guy. Like, you know, real rap, we work downtown. You can catch me downtown just out of convenience. I was catching the sub because I didn't feel like driving different places. So you'll catch me walking downtown. You'll catch me out places. So it wasn't about, you know, me being that bull. I never thought I was that bull. To this day, I still don't. Like, I don't. But again, you know, from Mount to whoever, you know, I just felt like, you know, I just gave him a chance, and nobody owes me nothing. Like, nothing. Not Meek, not whoever we talked about in this interview, Gil, none of them niggas owe me nothing. The only thing that I feel like, I can't say nothing. The only thing that I ask and I feel like I expect from these individuals is respect and friendship. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't ask to, I'm not even the bull that gives, like, I'm not that guy where it's like, I got to get in free and all that. I don't even call for tickets, shit like that at times, man. I'm a boy that supports. So let's just say if you got an event going on, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to come out and support. I'll buy the ticket. That's what you did it for. You're trying to make money. You know, now I'm not that they'll say I don't get invited to a lot of stuff. I do. But again, that's not what my expectation is. My expectation was just to, you know, again, same thing like I told you how I felt with Charlie Mack. It's like, I'm just making relationships. That's all. The same way as I treated you, I expect that in return. If you don't give it to me, all right. But then I know where we stand. You know, I know I can't fuck with you. I can't deal with you because me and you don't see eye to eye. You know, and that's pretty much it. And I think people respect that. I think, you know, I get love in the city. At least that's what I feel. Again, there are probably rappers that still to this day, I see them on my page every once in a while. Fucking hater. Okay. Another like. There you go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like it's a, you know, it is what it is. You know, I try to share my life with everybody, man. Like, I tell my wife this, right? It's so funny. My friends, I told them, I said, I tell my friends, I say, yo, y'all couldn't be my friend. If this was the shoe was on the other foot, I used the shit out of me, man. I would ask for stuff. I was like, none of y'all motherfuckers. Yeah, over the years, I just said this shit, right? Over the years, the friends that I like grew up with, not my adult friends, like Gil and them. I've known Gil for like 30 years now. Probably same thing with Meek. No, Meek, I ain't known for 30, but I known him for a long time. But my childhood friends, like day ones, like, you know, those guys like you went to elementary school, rode bikes with, like, I tell them niggas, man, and I say, y'all be fucking up. I said, I'll be asking for everything from me. I would. Dog, can I go with you here? Can I do that there? Like, I'd be like, I guess maybe I don't want to see it. Like, you know, I had a surreal moment. There's some funny shit. I had a surreal moment at the Roots picnic, right? I'm there and I'm sitting in the trailer and it's me, Black Thought, and a couple of MCs, right? Regular MCs, right? So we're sitting there chopping it up. Me and Reek, we friends, you know, we just having fun, man, you know. Then all of a sudden, you know, Common walks in, and then Redman walks in, and then Method Man walks in. So I posted it on my page, right? And so they was doing a sound check for the set they was about to do. routine sound check. I've seen these things a billion times, right? So I'm sitting there, right? And so they doing, going over their sets and stuff. So I sit there and that moment came over me, right? And I said, yo. So I posted in my post, you see on my post, I said, yo, this is for all my day ones that we used to sit around in my friend's front yard in a car, hotboxing, smoking, listening to all these MCs. And now, fast forward 30 years later, I'm sitting with these same MCs, and most of these people are my friends, my acquaintances, people that I know. Like I would have never imagined that shit sitting back there. You feel what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, I said, those be the moments I be like, yo. Because a lot of times, like, I take it for granted. People be like, my wife, she says, she's funny as shit. I love her to death. She says, when you get around people, she says, you just be treating them like just regular people. I said, how are you supposed to treat them? This nigga put his pants on one leg at a time like me. This nigga got the same problems as me. He got to hear you fucking complain. Same thing as I do. He is the same shit. He can't stay out late. Same thing like me. It's all, everything is, he got the same fucking problems as me. Only thing is he just got more money. That's all. A little bit more popular. So I said, that's my twist. I said, oh, they're regular, but I do get surreal moments and shit like that. Like,
so, you know why 30 years later it came full circle? You want to know really why? What happened to you?
I was high and I just whatever you about to tell me.
You influenced, you guys were influencers for the city, right? But let's take it back further. You betted on yourself when everybody counted you out. Because you was figuring it out. You was putting your pieces of the puzzles together. And look where it led you. You're here today. You can talk about everything that people right now would wish they would have bet on themselves about.
It's funny that you say that, right? First of all, I appreciate that. You're right. I did bet on myself. I always figured that it was so funny. I think the reason why I did bet on myself was because the fact that when I first got into this game, right? And I was asking, how the fuck do you do this? How do you get into the music game? If I can't rap and I can't act, I already told y'all that, right? I can't do that, right? How the fuck do I get to do what you do, right? And I'll say this, right? And I mean this in the utmost sincere way I can. Black people at times are afraid of what if they tell you might go further than where they might go, right? So I felt like I kept running into that, right? Like, every time I ask a person, yo, how do you work at the label, right? They won't tell me, oh, it's too hard. How's it too hard and you did it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how'd you do it, right? So y'all can edit that out. I'll say, how did you do it? Nobody would ever give me the answer. So at some point I had told myself, like, yo, if they don't give you the answer, either you're going to give up, go get a regular job like the other homies, right? Or figure this shit out. I figured it out. Well, I got on the road to figuring it out. And it wasn't easy. And I'm not going to say all black people, didn't help me. I did get help on the way. A lot of people helped me directly, and some people helped me indirectly. Sometimes I learned the lesson for dealing with a motherfucker, and it might have been a bad experience, but I got a valuable lesson out of that shit. Like, don't go do that no more. You feel what I'm saying? So I felt like when it's all said and done, my life was a gamble. But if you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody else gonna believe in yourself. And I do that even with the projects that I do now. Like right now, recently, I've gotten into game streaming. So, I'm a gamer. I'm an old man in games. Right. So, but there's a lane for it. So, and it's so crazy. I didn't, so real quick, always been playing video games, right? Just like everybody else that, is watching this same thing. You play Madden, you play video games. But as you get older, you just don't play like you used to. Sometimes a motherfucker might want to play, right? But you're thinking now you're too old. Why am I going to go ahead and spend a couple $100 on this console, and I'm not going to really use it? Well, it's the same thing as anything else. Like I'm the guy that I went to Twitch last summer in San Diego, right? I get invited out to Twitch. I go out there, didn't know what to expect, right? I get out there, and when I get out there, my mind is blown by what I'm seeing out there. Like it's a whole different world. It's an untapped market of what's going on in this tech world, and where I feel like where this industry is leading to, right? So I got out there, and I seen that I was like, wait a minute. I told y'all I'm always the guy that feels like I have to think ahead of the curve. Like I always feel like if you just catch the wave while it's going, you might hit, you might not, but most likely you didn't cash out like the motherfucker that was before the curve, because he was there first and he got everything. So I'm looking at it in the same aspect. Like there isn't a lane for older people. Everybody keeps thinking it's for kids. It's not. So I say all that to say, my again, it's all about betting on myself. Nobody's thinking about, my age. Not too many people thinking my age. Oh, you're going to do some gaming? Yeah, but you don't know what the recipe I got. You don't know what I'm talking about bringing. Like right now, even interviews like this, this is going to be on YouTube. It'll probably be on Twitch. It'll probably be on different platforms. That's where TV is going.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like this right here is going in that direction. Like you guys be able to make a show and don't have to worry about an actual network, because I have a platform. All I got to do is just put the right surroundings around me, and my shit can run just like theirs. You get the right programs and the right equipment and stuff like that. You're going to look just like CBS, NBC, and Fox, and all those other stations. So that's my thing. It's always been about betting on myself, because if I don't bet on myself, who else is going to bet on me?
My last question.
All right. You had a bunch of questions, man. Y'all niggas did y'all homework, man. Fuck this, man. Yo, make sure y'all shit is straight, man.
No cue cards.
There wasn't no cue cards too, yo. These niggas had these questions loaded up for me, though. I feel it. Go ahead.
My last question is, what is one thing nobody know about P-Funk, but they should know?
Oh. I don't know. Probably what's so funny is a lot of people probably from this interview is probably gonna say, yo, I didn't even know that about this guy, or I didn't even think about, I didn't see him in this aspect. Maybe because a lot of times you didn't know what was going on, just like anything behind the other side of the story. You feel what I'm saying? But I think we hit on it earlier that number one, people need to know. I am not a gatekeeper. I'm not a gatekeeper to this day. Again, it's not that I don't have relationships, but I'm not here to help you or stop you from doing whatever you're trying to do. That's not me. Now, if other people want to call themselves gatekeepers, that's on them. But that never been me. I've always fought for the little guy. I think a lot of people don't know. I'm more team orientated than self. What's the word I want to use? Self recognition, if you want to say that. I don't need that. I think that was maybe some of the reasons why I made my decisions, or maybe probably why things stopped where they was as far as was Batcave Radio and Batcave Studios. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just the type of person that I was. Other than that, I think, I think, like I said, I think a lot of people don't think that I was just in the business of being a hater, and I wasn't. I was just a guy that, and if everybody was looking, I was just a guy that was saying the things that most of the time you was thinking already. That's really what it was. You might just sit in your car and say, this boy's trash. I just happen to say it on the radio or in front of an interview or things like that. Like, but yeah, that's just what I was,
P-Funk, thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Ah, man, thank y'all for having me, man. Y'all wanted to hear these old ass stories. That was up to y'all.
Man, listen.
You fuck around, ask me some questions. That's up to y'all. I got the time. I got time to talk. You know what's so funny, right? It's so funny. I'll say this real quick. I ain't gonna go into another story, but it's crazy, right? I get a lot of requests for interviews. I do. I never understand why. And when you guys reached out to me, it was really my wife that told me. She said, because I was going to tell you no. I was going to tell you no. I was going to send you a emoji with the sunglasses, the peace sign. I'll tell you right now, that's what I was going to do. My wife was telling me, she says, oh, they want to, I'm sitting there, I swear, I'm sitting there, I'm looking. I said, here we go, right? I hit it. And he was like, yo, man, no, man, come on out, blah, 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 blah. We're going to see you in the invite. And I think I hit back like real quick, thumbs up, let's do it. I think that's what I said, right? Let's do it, right? Yeah, I didn't mean that. I just sent it, right? She said, I'm being honest with you, man. So I said, so she's sitting there. She said, so you just don't want to do it? She says, why? I said, man, I'm not used to people, wanting to talk. At least nobody likes to ask me questions, right? Everybody likes for me to ask the question. So, I just felt like I was like, she's like, no, do it. And I said, all right. And so, yes, next thing you know, I said, no, I do it, blah, 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 blah. But I say all that to say, hey, I appreciate the privilege of y'all sitting down wanting to talk to me. That was, I'm humble when all these videos come out. I'm very humble and appreciative for a person that wants to sit down and talk to me, so I wanted to get that out.